Guys, a very big welcome back to the channel. Today I'm covering sleep optimization because whether you want to build muscle, lose body fat, be a sexier, stronger, smarter individual, you need to be sleeping better. And for those of you that are new here, I am a coach. I've competed nationally in bodybuilding. I've got a degree in sports and exercise science. So I have some knowledge both from education and also personal experience, helping myself and other people get in shape, get healthier, and feel better. And today, as I said, we are going to dive into how you guys can be sleeping a hell of a lot better and seeing better results. But after this, if you guys would like to have a conversation about how I can help you individually tackle your own personal challenges when it comes to getting in shape, then hit that link in the description. But before we get into that, I want you guys to understand exactly why sleep is so important, because it gets thrown around all the time, but I still think most people don't realize just how important it is for so many functions. First off, get the easy one out of the way, energy. We all know that if you sleep better, you have more energy and you feel better, you feel happier. So the next thing that you might not know is appetite regulation. Now, if you're trying to lose body fat, you want to be managing your appetite. You don't want to have a raging appetite all the time. And funnily enough, when you're underslept, you have two hormones that start to go a little bit out of whack. The first one is ghrelin. Ghrelin stimulates your appetite and that increases when you're underslept. And we have another hormone called leptin. And leptin gets secreted and makes you feel full when you're eating. And we have less leptin when we're underslept. So not only going to feel hungrier when you're underslept, you're going to feel full less quickly. Now, if you're in the gym training, chances are you're trying to build muscle and get stronger. Regardless of whether you're trying to lose fat or look bigger, you should care about putting on muscle because that's going to help all those things. Your ability to create an adequate stimulus in the gym and then have your body prioritize building new tissue is dependent on whether you're getting good duration and good quality of sleep. So we have three things so far: energy, appetite regulation, performance in the gym. There's another two that you might not have thought about before. The first one is stress management. If you've watched my previous videos on the science behind laziness, in particular the neuroscience, then you would know when your stress is higher, the part of your brain responsible for forward thinking, willpower, discipline, that part of your brain is turned down, and the back part of your brain, which is responsible for threat and survival, is turned up. So when you're underslept and you're experiencing more stress, your ability to make decisions that coincide with you losing fat, building muscle, eating healthy is going to be a lot more difficult, especially if you have emotional eating challenges. And finally, when we are underslept, your cravings for easy dopamine will be higher and your impulse control will be lower. So again, especially if you're trying to lose fat, your life will become very difficult if you're underslept. So now we know the reasons why you guys should give a fuck about sleep, but how can we actually go about nailing it, improving it, not only the duration, but the quality as well? First off, what I want you guys to understand is how the nervous system impacts your ability to stay asleep and get into a deep sleep. You can imagine the nervous system as kind of like this dial that gets dialed up more towards fight or flight and can get dialed down more towards a rest and digest state. Our protocol, especially pre-bed protocol, is all focused on how we can shift that more into a rest and digest state so you can fall asleep easier and get into a deep state of sleep easier, because that is where a lot of the good stuff happens for your recovery and well-being. But for our protocol, we're actually going to start in the morning and work our way throughout the day. So the start of the day in the morning, the first thing that you can do to improve your sleep the following night is get outside and get sunlight. You don't have to look directly in the sun and burn your eyes, but you want to get some sunlight around your eyes. What this is going to do is going to anchor your circadian rhythm, which is basically like your body's internal clock. So it registers, okay, right now is morning, so in 12 hours or so, I am going to start releasing melatonin, get you feeling nice and tired. And for this same reason, this is why having a consistent sleep and wake time is really, really helpful for falling asleep and getting good sleep. A third optional thing that you can try if you like is delaying caffeine by 90 minutes or so after waking up. There is a theory that having caffeine too early, it obviously blocks the adenosine receptors, which is the way that caffeine works, but it doesn't give a chance for those to clear out in the morning, so that once the caffeine wears off, say 8 hours after you consume it in the morning, you'll get that morning grogginess, and then that you have to then process kind of through that, which is why you get an afternoon slump. That's controversial, and there's been some evidence to refute that, but a lot of people find it helpful, so it's worth giving a try. Then when it comes to your overall daytime behaviors throughout the day, some things that I would focus on to optimize sleep. Cut caffeine at least 8 hours before bed, but the dosage matters a lot. So if you're having 400 milligrams of caffeine 8 hours before bed, that is still gonna have a significant impact on your sleep. So your total daily dose matters a lot as well. And this is something that a lot of guys get wrong, and I've said this before in previous videos. They think because they fall asleep easily, that means that they're sleeping really well. But if you have a lot of caffeine going through your system while you're asleep, chances are you're not getting into a deep state of sleep or REM sleep, which means your sleep isn't that great. The next thing during the day is just getting enough daily movement. Getting in some hard exercise, getting in adequate movement through steps throughout the day is going to help you a lot when it comes to getting to sleep. And implementing small breaks in high stress activities, work throughout the day if possible, is going to help keep that dial a bit more turned towards that rest and digest state, making it easier for you to wind down at the end of the day. It doesn't have to be crazy. It can literally be just getting up every half an hour and walking around for 1 minute, taking a few deep breaths, and then getting back into whatever it is that you are doing for work or whatever it is. So then we're getting into the fun stuff, the pre-bed routine. Again, the focus here is shifting into that rest and digest state. About 60 minutes before you go to bed, I would dim most lights in the house. I would avoid screens. At the very least, if you're not avoiding screens, putting on blue light blockers or putting the screen on a blue light kind of dark mode setting. And then I would try to initiate some sort of bedtime routine that focuses on calming the mind and calming the body. My go-to, if you have 15 minutes only, ideally we have some more, but if you only have 15 minutes, I would first relax the body by going through some stretches, stretching the back, the hips, the neck, and then spending 5 minutes doing some breathing exercises that shift into a rest and digest state, that shift you into a rest and digest state. The main thing with breathing exercises for this purpose is having an exhale that is longer duration than your inhale. Some other really helpful activities for shifting into that rest and digest state before bed: a warm shower, brain dumping or making to-do lists for the next day, and also anything like meditation is really helpful as well. My advice here is just make it as routine as possible. Also make it easy to complete this routine. And if it helps, set an alarm on your phone to actually start that wind down routine. At first, you may think, man, I can't be fucked to do this. I just want to go in bed and go on my phone. But do it once or twice. Take note of how you feel the next morning, and that's gonna be more motivation for you to keep doing that thing. So that is our morning, daytime, and evening habits to optimize sleep. We also then have nutrition and supplementation to optimize sleep. First off, avoid eating too close to bed. If you are to eat too close to bed, this is going to disrupt your deep sleep because your body is working to digest the food that you've eaten. On the other hand though, we also don't want to go to bed starving either. So don't have your last meal like 3 p.m. in a bid to optimize your sleep. Some supplements that I like that really help you get to sleep and get better quality sleep: magnesium glycinate, ashwagandha if you need help shifting to that rest and digest state. Melatonin is going to help you. Glycine can help as well. There's heaps out there, but my 3 that I use a lot are ashwagandha, magnesium glycinate, and melatonin. I think it's worth mentioning as well that we can also optimize our sleep environment to sleep better. If possible, having a room between 18 and 20 degrees seems to be optimal. Having blackout curtains or just a dark room somehow, also really helpful. White noise helps a lot for some people. And I'd also minimize what you are doing in bed besides sleeping. Like, don't be in your bed on your phone all the time, eating in your bed, anything crazy like that, because your brain is going to make associations that bed isn't for sleeping, it's for other things, and you won't get to sleep as easy. So I've gone over a fair bit just now, but if I was to tell you these are the exact things you should do today to sleep better, this is probably what I recommend. Get some morning sunlight. Set a consistent sleep and wake time. Develop a 30-minute pre-bed routine that calms your mind and calms your body. Cut caffeine before 12. And if you want to go a step further, go ahead and buy some magnesium glycinate, potentially melatonin, and ashwagandha. So there we have it, guys. If you got any value or help from this video, I'd really appreciate if you could hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. And if you guys are still feeling a little bit stuck with your health and fitness goals, maybe you feel like your mind, your nervous system is holding you back from where you could be, then I'd love to have a chat. So I'll leave a link down below. You can inquire about coaching, and we can jump on and have a no commitment conversation about how it could help.